Hello and welcome, Doomers and Gooners. Today we're going to be looking at the Doom Master level, the Black Tower. So first we're going to take a look at the TXT file and hop into Doom Builder and take a closer look at the map. So let's go ahead and take a look at this file. Let's see.
In this Doom WAD, you play as a fallen cyber demon who once ruled hell and led its governing council, the Cabal. After being betrayed by your fellow council members, you suffer the ultimate demonic humiliation, being transformed into a human. Now, you're on a revenge mission that leads you to the Black Tower, a fortress of black magic where your closest former ally, Chagrin, awaits. You and Chagrin came off the same assembly line thousands of years ago, sharing a bond summed up by the saying, oil runs thicker than blood. But now, Chagrin commands your former hellish hordes and left you for dead. Your mission is twofold. Fight your way to the tower's peak to confront your old friend turned traitor, then survive the equally treacherous journey back down. Deathmatch Badar's credits Maka, Hunter, Woe, Loki, and Pete. You can walk over my melted bodies anytime. Don't hang around that corner for too long, though. I'll silently BFG your butt.
Wow. It's a pretty crazy story. I like the idea that you were a demon who's been so horribly disfigured and turned into a lowly human being, and that is a source of your ire. So let's take a look a little further down. Some nice comments here. All right. Doom Builder, and we're looking at the Black Tower map out in the open. And yeah, I'm just gonna get a good in-depth exploration of each floor and the areas, and just kind of talk about the general strategies I had to use in them. So over here is the Black Tower base floor, and it's surrounded by these large open field areas. So here's like the road leading up to it, and then this is the exit of the map where you need all three keys. You gotta jump down into this hell pit hole. And yeah, it's a big open area. And first, yeah, you just kind of go in through here, and then go into this area here. Big monster arena. Get all the monsters to kind of infight each other to really get out of there without using too much resources. This is where you flick the first switch, and then you go to this area over here, and you flick this switch. There's two spider masterminds, and that opens access to the second floor. And then there's this area over here, which I interpret as kind of like a loading bay, like a dock area. Let's go check it out. Yeah, so we're in this area, so we'll go here. Yeah, you see what I mean. It's literally a dock, and then here's like where presumably cargo vessels would come and load it up with munitions for the demon hordes, because this is like a stronghold for like two demon warlords, essentially. At least that's what I interpreted from the story. But after you finish the base, you get teleported to the second level, which it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure it's this one here. What are these? I'm gonna go and... No, yep, these are like cacodemons. So this is the second level, and it's a bit crazy. You'll see in the gameplay, it's just full of monsters, and you just kind of have to survive, and this only sets a precedent of what the rest of the level's like. And after you complete this floor, you get teleported. These are the Mancubuses. Yep, you get teleported here. It's like, I call it the jungle room. So it's covered in leaves and all kinds of stuff. And it has a sneaky trap in it, too, that you'll see. Once you're finished with that floor, you get teleported to this one. The scary shadow room, where specters teleport endlessly, basically, out of all the shadowy parts of the room. And then I'm pretty sure... Oh wait, no, that's the second to last floor, sorry, I accidentally skipped this one. This one is just kind of, as you can see, got a lot going on. It's a little mazy. I know where the exit is, so I usually just head straight to it. But yeah, it's really tight corridors full of hit scanners, and lastly, there is the ceiling, or the top floor of the tower, where you fight the final boss, the cyber demon of the map, and you can see just all these hordes of monsters loaded up, ready to get fed into the arena. So it's a pretty insane, a lot of crazy stuff going on in this here map. But you'll see here in the gameplay, I was able to finish it on ultraviolence difficulty setting, and it was not easy. It took a good few attempts, so we'll head straight into that right after this.
After much hardship and struggle, I was finally able to achieve the ultra-violence difficulty run I wanted.
You